Hi, Jeff.
Yeah, Heath,
Nice to meet you.
you as well.
So I saw that you wrote in about a shed and getting some power out there.
I did. We put that shed up not that long ago, and I'd really like to get power out to it, and I'd like to know how.
Well, let's go take a look at it and see what you have in mind for using it.
Great. This is Newton, by the way.
Hi, Newton. Oh, wow, this is a great shed, Jeff.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's going to be nice.
So what are some of your plans for it?
So my plan is the right side with the double doors is going to be the shed. And then the idea is going to be to use this half as a place where I can work on things, paint things, whatever you can't do in the yard that is weather permitting.
Sure, so you never had power in the old shed.
No, I thought I would, and it was just too small.
Okay, so charging stuff, maybe a small workshop, some lights.
Yeah.
And who knows, might grow down the road.
Hopefully it will. But for now, it should be enough where I can get things done.
All right. So I got a couple of thoughts, and you tell me what you think. I'm
Okay.
thinking maybe a panel over here. Maybe do an 8-foot LED light up here, get in a couple of outside lights, some general receptacles. But the nice thing about the panel, it'll give us room for growth. So as you want to add things, if you brought different equipment in, if it turned into more of a wood shop or more of an enclosed space, we had some space to do that. I think the next step would be, let's go outside and take a look at that corner and see if we have a path to get to the house.
Okay.
So we know we're going to this corner of the shed, and that looks wide open. That should be pretty good.
Okay.
And then we have a nice flat yard. This is kind of nice. It shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And we're coming back to the house. So whereabouts can we go in the house exactly, Jeff?
Well, the back of the house where the door is a crawl space. So you probably have to go all the way into the corner.
All the way to the corner, so that crawl space really isn't accessible?
It's not.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to that corner, and that should get us into the regular basement?
Yes.
So I see what looks like, what did you say, that was a coal chute maybe?
No coal chute, yeah.
And then a window, and then we have some trees in the garden there. So it looks like we kind of want to go between that coal chute and the window?
Yeah, it looks the most direct route.
All right, well, from there to the shed should be a straight shot, but let's go take a look in the basement and make sure we can actually get to that point.
Let's go in.
All right. All right, so this looks like the window that we saw outside, right, Jeff?
Yes.
And we can see the insulation where the coal chute used to be. So this is the area that we wanted to come into. Now, I don't want to come in here because we have all the plumbing pipes and everything going upstairs. So I think we'll bring our PVC in on this side of this joist. So we'll hug kind of close to this window, come in here, put our box, and then run our cable towards the panel. Whereabouts is the panel?
It's in the right-hand corner.
All right, let's go take a look at that.
Okay.
All right, Jeff, so this is the main panel?
It is.
All right. Looks like you got a lot going on in the house.
Aye, a little overkill.
That's okay. This isn't rated for those little tandem breakers, looking at the panel cover, so I don't want to put those in. Is there anything we could possibly get rid of or combine that you know of?
Yeah, there was a few outlets on the old workbench that I won't be using any longer.
Oh, great. So you use part of this as a shop, but some receptacles that we don't need anymore, especially if we're going to put the shop out in the shed?
Yes.
Great. So we can get rid of those, make some space, and put our new 2-pole 60-amp breaker here. So looking at this, I think we've got a pretty clean shot back over to where we're going out. I think we have our path, so I think that part's good. I said the next step is going to call someone I know to start digging out back, and I'll order some supplies and we'll get started. What do you think?
Great, let's get started.
Let's head up. Hey, Ryan. Hey. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So I think we've got a pretty simple job for you. We're looking to just dig a trench from that corner of the shed over there in a fairly straight line back to the house over there. We're going to try and get in between that old coal chute and the window over there. Might be a little tight, might have to do a little hand digging, but hopefully not too bad for you.
No problem, we'll get it done. And we think 2 feet deep, little sand underneath the pipe.
I think somewhere around 2 feet will probably be good. We're looking to get to 18 inches at the top of the pipe, so we want to go down just enough, get a couple inches of sand below it, and then get the conduit on top. So if you can get us somewhere around 2 feet, that'd be great.
You got it.
All right, and we've already called DigSafe, so we should be set to go. So if you want to get started on that, I'm going to grab some materials and get started in the shed.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks. All right, Jeff, so Ryan's down there finishing up the trench. He's just cleaning up that last end up against the house. So while he's finishing that up, before the sand goes in, we're gonna go ahead and put our fitting in here. It's gonna be our starting point. So what I have is I have an LB fitting, L back, so the wires come up and go in. It's gonna mount like this, probably right about there. And then I have our expansion fitting. And what I wanna do is I wanna set it, we can see this is designed for expansion. So as the earth heaves, we get frost heaves around here, that this is gonna move up and down, and it's not going to damage the wire, damage the pipe, or rip anything out of the building. Everything stays intact. So where I'm going to set it is on this black line. So I want that right about there. That gives us plenty of movement in both directions for what we're doing. And we want to see where we're going in. Now I know we measured center of our bay off of the outside trim was 29 in the inside. And that of course puts us right there where we don't want to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the left a little bit. We'll drill the hole here, and then I'll just take a heat blanket and bend that pipe if we need to get to the center of the knockout for the panel. So I want to find our height, and I just want to be somewhere up here above grade. We don't want it sticking up too far because I don't want to see it too much. You can obviously paint it to make it blend in with the shed, but I think somewhere down here is fine. The expansion's above grade. That should look pretty good right about there. So, just gonna make a little mark. So what I want to do now, Jeff, and I'm just gonna put a pilot bit through. After that, then we'll put the larger hole through and get this mounted.
Makes sense. It looks good.
So now that we have that where we want it, just gonna make sure we're plumb. Take this clip. So that's in place. This will be our starting point for the PVC in the trench. We'll be able to come down and come over. And once we're complete, we'll put a little bead of caulking around this to kind of help seal this up. So let's go see if Ryan's all set, and we'll work on getting the sand in here, and then we can get the PVC in.
Great.
All right, Ryan, it looks like the trench is done. It looks great.
Thank you.
Didn't look like the digging was too bad either. Not too many rocks or anything crazy in there.
Not too bad, but we're still gonna put some sand down underneath.
Absolutely, and the reason is, because sometimes we have stuff like that. If anything heaves or frost or forces anything up, this rock might try to come up through the ground. We have a bed of sand around the conduit to keep everything protected. So it's just a good practice to get into. So if you have plenty of sand, you're gonna run the machine. Jeff, you and I gotta get busy, jump in that trench, start spreading the sand out and make it smooth. And we wanna make sure that we still have 18 inches to the top of our pipe when all said and done, but I think that trench looks plenty deep enough. All right, so now that we have the sand in the trench, it's time to install the conduit. So we left it up here because it's easier to work with up on the grass area than it is in the trench, and we're not gonna fill it up with sand as we go. We wanna keep it as clean as possible. So we're gonna go ahead, we have a bell end and the smooth end, and we're gonna go ahead and glue these together.
So can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Why did you have me lay it out this direction, bell end that way?
That's a great question. The reason is your yard pitches back from the house towards the shed. We want to have the bell facing down. I want it like this. So if water happens to get in there and starts running by, I want it to go around the fitting. If we had it the other way and we were running the bell uphill, water can come in and has a chance to get around this edge. In case the glue didn't set entirely properly, it has an option to get in there, and we want to try and avoid that.
Makes sense.
And the other thing I want to do is we can either tape the end, or I'm going to use this little cap. I'm going to have you put this on the open end as we throw it in the trench, just to help keep any sand out. We're not going to glue it, just a real light press, just to kind of help keep the conduit clean. So we're going to go ahead and clean these two, glue them, and I'm going to put our 90 on this end. We'll get this into place, then we can measure and connect on this side, and then we're going to work our way back. Turn.
Like it?
Like it.
The conduit is covered with a layer of sand for protection.
All right, so for this we have to actually drive 2 ground rods. My first one's there, and they want to be 6 feet apart. The ground rod's are 8 feet, so I'm just going to use this as a quick measurement, so I know I want to be at least this far away. So now I'm just going to take my bare number 6 here and connect it to the 2 ground rods. And you can see we didn't cut the wire, we slid this connector down so we can go ahead and make this connection unbroken. And once I tighten this up, all right, that's in place. Then we're gonna go into the building and into the panel. All right, Jeff, so we've got our ground wire in, we've got the trench filled, we're about 6 inches down from grade. So we're ready to go ahead and put the caution tape in before we put the final grade on.
Okay.
So this is the stuff we're going to use. I'm just going to have you walk this down, and I'll tie it off to the conduit on this side.
Okay. Why do you need the caution tape?
We want the caution tape up here because if you ever do any digging in the yard down the road, even for plants, you're gonna hit this tape first. Once you hit that, you'll know there's a buried electric line down here, so you don't go too deep and you'll be careful of it.
Okay. Is this a certain type of caution tape?
It is. So we use this metallic tape. It's traceable. So the nice thing about this is if you're not sure and you want to mark exactly where everything was, I'm going to leave a little end over here that you can get to. There's a toner you can put on this and actually trace out exactly where this tape goes, and this tape is directly on top of your conduits, so it'll be easy to find out exactly where everything is.
That's good to know.
With the caution tape installed, it's time to backfill the trench.
So we picked this bay for our panel, and this is the panel we're going to slide in somewhere around here, maybe a little bit higher. So what I want to do is, we have our PVC coming in down here already, and we now have to continue that up into the panel, but you can see we have this cross block. And this is our connector that's going to go in the bottom of the panel here. So what I'm going to do is take that knockout out, slide that down, set my depth, mark the cross block, then I can take this back out and drill this. So I'm going to do the same thing for a smaller conduit for the ground wire to come in as well. So we'll have those in. Then we'll come back down bottom, we'll put the PVC in, mount the panel, put the one in for the ground, then we can pull the wires, get them into place, and get some power on.
Great.
Now, I will just slide that ground up the conduit we just put in.
I got it.
Okay, take some slack up.
You got it. Let me know.
You got enough to get to the top of the panel and go across?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Jeff, so now that Ryan's done with that trench, he did a great job with it, he's got everything graded, and our conduits are completely covered, it's time to pull the wires from the house to the shed. So what I've done, I've set up a spool up here with the wire, and down here I have the pull line. So I'm gonna put a fish tape down this conduit, it's gonna pop up to you, you'll tie the pull line on, I'll pull it back, and then I'll tie the wire on, and we'll pull that to the shed and get that into the panel. So our conduit's been oversized for future use, so it's much bigger than we need for these wires. I'm just gonna do a couple of hitches, really. And then I'm gonna tape the front. What I wanna do is I just want to smooth these out with the tape, just in case there's an edge in the conduit. I don't want it to catch that, I want to be able to pull right by. All right, Jeff, you wanna take about 6 feet of slack on the pull line, please?
Okay.
Okay, it's started, so you can go ahead.
I'm here.
Perfect. All right, Jeff, you want to feed that through?
Coming in.
All right, that's good for now. Let me try that. All right, we're good. Let's throw the covers on. All right, Jeff, so now that we have the wire in here, our panel's ready to go, everything's complete here, it's time to do the fun part, wire the shed. So we have a minimum requirement. When we have power to an outbuilding like this, we have to have at least one receptacle in here and one light, which we're gonna have. We want a receptacle over here, you said possible fridge.
Yes.
We're gonna have the LED light up top. And while we're at it, we're gonna put an outside light over that door. I think that ought to keep you pretty good for now.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, and we have plenty of room to grow, so in the meantime, let's grab some wire and we'll get to work.
Great.
Make sure we got enough to go over straight and go down to the switch.
Once all the connections are made, we can add and wire the new circuits into the main breaker panel. This should only be done by a licensed electrician while the electrical service has been completely disconnected.
Just in time.
Great.
Power's on, everything's turned on. You wanna give the lights a shot?
Sure. Wow. It's incredible. I've been
big
waiting
difference, huh?
Waiting a long time for this.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a great shed. Now you get the power out here. Honestly, I'm kind of jealous.
I can't wait to get started out here.
All right, this has been a great project. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your help, Heath.
Thanks for letting us do it.
Great.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.